go. The opinions and views expressed in this podcast are solely those of the Mortgage Dudes only, and not those of Equity Resources Incorporated or Greentree Mortgage Services. We're not crazy. Think of them as your slightly odd, yet occasionally hilarious uncles that are very knowledgeable about mortgages. I will say, together they have over 45 years of experience in the housing market, and that may or may not have included bourbon, beer, and cigars. They are here to enlighten and entertain, and we cannot be responsible for the language or jokes. So buckle up and be ready. Things are about to get interesting.
You got to know who's going to, maybe someone else is going to have to fix it. Or you
Or maybe you got to get handy, which I never did. Look at the sand.
Yeah.
But my wife is very
tell
good
those
with
are
the
office
tools.
man hands. There's no calluses on those hands.
My wife is good with the tools. I suck with it. Look at how big these eyebrows are. I need to shave them.
You have to wear gloves to pick up horse crap. So.
Pretty much. Look at it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Mortgage Dudes. I'm Shane Marzullo. This is my handsome partner in crime, Ed Moloney. We are the Mortgage Dudes, and we're here to educate and have a good time. It is the season, Ed. It's the season, baby. How have you been doing with your boat in the water and everything?
So my boat went in May 1st. My first charter trip on other people's boats was on April 30th. So as of today, I have 10 days on my boat. I have 5 paid charter trips that I've been on, and pretty much on the water every day. And Brian, my associate, makes sure everything on Team Moloney runs beautifully.
Well, that's the thing is, just because we're not in the office doesn't mean we're not working.
No, because people can reach us on our cell phone if you're camping, golfing, if I'm on the boat. And then the back end, the team's there to help.
Why don't you just get, I have Starlink for my RV I use. So you should just get Starlink for your boat. That way you can just start doing applications.
Believe it or not, Verizon allows me to get anywhere I need. It's pink. Don't get me started. Okay. Before we get too far.
Oh, yeah.
They're not a sponsor, but they should be.
Yeah. If they want to send us a case of Utz chips each, we would be more than happy to have our first bribery sponsor, because we are fat guys that love food.
And you said they have a hamburger flavor or something, right? Jesus.
Yeah. My neighbor had the hamburger flavor ones, and I'm like, oh, these are good. And they have quite a different flavors from what I
they have a dip. They have a dip, kind of like you, Dippy. They have a dip. It's a very tasty dip. So there's a lot of going on in the mortgage industry.
Oh, jeez.
Not just shit, but the words. We got tariffs. We don't have tariffs. We've got political stuff. We've got overseas stuff. Overall, everybody's talking about interest rates. I'll give you my 2 cents. Rates historically over the 40 years. We lived through the 2s and 3s. We're not seeing that again. Over the last 30 months, the lowest we've really seen is in that lower 6 quadrant, but we've pretty much been in that high 6 quadrant to mid 7 quadrant.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of saying we're going to stay there. And I'm seeing people get more accepting of rates. They need to grow out of their house. They hate their spouse. They found out their spouse was having an affair with the neighbor. Whatever. And it's time to move. And I'm seeing more get over the rate issue. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, I think rates will eventually come down a little bit, but it depends on how it happens. Now, I know there was that thing that one guy was talking about, that Fannie and Freddie announced that their end of the year be a year they're going to potentially lower the rate, and they're not going to wait for the reserve to do that. I have a couple of mixed feelings on that. One, why are you not doing it now? 2, is it true? I'd love to say, oh yeah, that's going to happen. Nobody knows. No one knows. And the third thing is if they do this, it kind of pisses me off. And I'll tell you why. That means you've been artificially screwing everybody, keeping the rates high, and not helping people out or not moving the market. So
I'll give devil's advocate, though. If they're going to be doing it, the only way I know for them to do it is to buy mortgage-backed securities. Then they have been keeping it high. They'll be artificially bringing it low, my devil's advocate. And I have a problem with that because our balance sheet's already full of effing debt, and we're going to be taking on more debt. I don't like it either way you look at it. Let the market drive it. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, look, the rates were in 99. I can tell you in 1999, when I built my home, I was at like 7 1/8, I think is it. And then when, a few years later, we refinanced and I got like a 4.75 and people were like, oh my God, how did you get that? I'm like, well, it pays to own the joint, but it was, and that was a great rate for many years.
Wow.
We probably had that. We had that loan for at least. We had that loan for at least 10 years, 15 years, and then we refinanced again. When it got down to the
5-year period there in the 20 whatever's, and it was 6%, pretty much 6.25, 6. Yep. 6.25. At that point, I would talk to people about paying discount points, but in the volatility, I don't. I love the other.
I don't. I'd love to say it's going to happen, and I'd love to see it. I guess we'll see it when we believe it. But I also know people are not. Like my neighbor he is selling his home. Now, mind you, he actually like 3 months ago, we were sitting out having a cigar, and he's like, oh, by the way, I hate to tell you, I'm paying you off. I'm like, I don't care. That's congratulations. So he's been debt free for three whole months. And then I don't have a big enough garage.
Plus he lives next to you. So
trust me, he bums more cigars off me. So he's going to be, he's only moving like a mile or two away, but it's just a bigger home for him. And it's on a one story. So it's easier for him. And I get it.
Yeah, you're getting old. You get it. 2 stories.
Yeah, but I work out. My theory is this. If I can't drag, I told Janelle this, I go, if you can't drag your ass up the stairs, but yet you're going to CrossFit every day, then we have problems. So
old guys rule, baby.
Yeah, I know.
Old guys rule. So we were going to segue into not so much mortgage, but understanding owning a home, because there's so much more. And I say to people all the time, when you get the mortgage, your payment's X, but you got to buy toilet paper. Mommy and Daddy have been buying it. You got to pay the electric bill, and then there's other shit like, what if your neighbor has issues?
What if you have issues with your neighbor? Which, hey, that can happen. That can happen. And, I think what people don't realize is, and there's a lot of the younger people, if you've owned a home before, it's pretty much
that's different.
No big deal. But when new people are like, you got to find out who's going to fix this stuff, because, daddy ain't coming. Like, my daughter's bought a house. So, I got a job. I'm not, and I got to fix my own crap. So I'll be over there, but you got to know who's going to, maybe someone else is going to have to fix it. Or
maybe you got to get handy, which I never did. Look at these hands.
Yeah.
No, my wife is very good
those
with
are
the
office
tools.
Man hands. There's no calluses on those hands.
My wife is good with the tools. I suck with them. Look at how big these eyebrows are. I need to shave them.
You have to wear gloves to pick up horse crap. So.
Pretty much. Look at it.
But no, it's those things, hey, maybe you're like a big person who loves planting and all that stuff. You can't do that in an apartment or in your own rental place. So that's something, the benefits of homeownership is not about, it's not about, you can write off the interest or it's yours. It's physically yours to do whatever you want. If you want to paint your house pink, paint it pink. If you want if you want to have like that, if you want to have like a roses and a huge garden, that's for you. That's what the benefit of owning a home is. It's yours. No one's telling you you can't do that.
And it's funny that you bring that up. I talked to a friend of mine whose son is looking at buying. One of his sons bought in Ohio. He had worked for Lululemon, and now he works for Chase. The other son's in Alabama, working for a judge. He's going to come back to Mass, be a lawyer. And we're talking about condos in Boston expense. I said, Tony, make sure your kid gets a minimum of a 2-bedroom. Well, I was thinking of one. I said, Tony, the world goes to shit. He can rent out one of the rooms. Like, dude, you're right. So it's also that. The other thing, taking a step back earlier about rates, if you are renting, you're paying 100% interest.
Yep.
Let me repeat that. If you are renting, you're paying 100% interest. So home ownership comes with some work, but it also comes with, you can have a dog and it can shit on your lawn and you can pick it up. It brings you a lot of joy. You can mow your lawn. If you've got grandkids like the old Ducker here, yes, I said Ducker. I was very careful. Kelly Welch, don't yell at me. But you could do a swing set. You should stay off the swing set because you could break it.
I'm not doing swing set.
Let's get into some misnomers. One of the big misnomers, VA. There's many misnomers, but there's one big one that you got highlighted. And I'm going to let your bald, beautiful head address this misnomer.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think, well, with VA, you have to be married. And that's not the case. You can. Now, mind you, you can't get the 100% that the non-married spouse has to put money down, but there is benefits with doing that if you need to use that person's income. It's, VA wants you to be obviously married. That's just their rule. But it's a great program. And I still stand to this when I've had people like, well, we don't want to deal with a VA program. I'm like, oh, screw you. I go, this man or woman fought for our country and you're too busy to even entertain an offer. You can go screw yourself.
It's our job, and we both do a good job of getting that listing agent on that's a bozo and educating them. Hey, you don't have paint chips. You don't have this. You don't have that. Shut that up. And a big win with VA, which very few don't realize, there are more VA condos in Mass, at least, approved than FHA. Let me repeat that. VA condos that are approved in FHA. Why is it important? Because if you're a conventional condo, you got to go through all the effing paperwork. I have won 3 deals in the last 2 years where I educated the seller and said, how's the condo association? And like every other one, pain in the ass. Well, they're VA approved. Who do I care at? You dumb. This is why you care. Because it means you have to do nothing. Really? I've been in realtor 40 years. I didn't know that. Let me show you. In all 3 cases, my clients won, maybe. We got to protect our veterans. We got to protect our first responders.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing with the condo with the VA. I had an issue where there was an issue with the HOA, and VA said, hey, we need a letter from the veteran saying he is fine with this, and they accepted it.
Yeah.
So VA is they're willing to work. They want to help the veteran buy a home. That's what their goal is, and there are some really big pluses with it. I think a lot of people get lost into like, well, you have to have this or you have to have that. I'm like, that's not the rule.
And there's too much ignorance. So if you have VA questions, don't go online. Come to us for an education class.
Yeah, and I will say is it's not as there's some ignorances, but then there's some perceived opinion because that's what some stupid bank loan officer told them that has no clue. Well, that's what our company is.
But that's not still ignorance because you're believing an ignorant person.
Yeah, I know, but they don't know any better. You got to be nicer, Ed. You got to be a nicer person like me.
Yeah, that's certainly not happening. How do they reach out to get a T-shirt? Could you explain to them? Because I got a lot of people wear T-shirts. New York City on the top of the house.
Yeah, there's
name it.
We get some popular people. So hey, if you want to get a shirt, if you're like, hey, I want a Mortgage Dudes T-shirt, reach out to us. We'd love you to hit subscribe, but just message us. Message us through Facebook, which we do have a Facebook account now called Mortgage Dudes. You can email us, text me or Ed, however you want to do it. We're reachable. If we're out there.
And when you get your shirt, you will find your inner peace. I am an artist.
Are you making rocks and throwing them in the water now?
I may be throwing them in our department head meetings, so watch out. I'll be in trouble like you.
That's hilarious. That is too funny. Are you? I think we're going to be. If the market is heating up, are you seeing? We're seeing a lot of people. We're getting a lot of offers in.
We're seeing more inventory. We're seeing more people. I've seen more second, third time buyers than I did before. Some of my first time buyers that are more white coat are waiting to say, is my company that make me go in the office? Do I want to relocate? It's my teachers, my firemen, my policemen, my civil town engineers that are buying right now. And that's my people that go, I've owned. I had a higher rate. I got a low rate. I got to get the F out of this house. I got to grow it. I don't want to live next to Shane anymore. He's mean. I got to move down the road.
He gives me the cheap cigars.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of cheap, all about cheap. What the is going on with Toledo? I mean, if anyone hasn't watched the news, use your Google or
Toledo, Ohio,
your chat GBT. But Toledo, I'm hearing, is taken off because it's cheap. And tell me what the hell's going on.
It's not cheap. It's just we're not like Massachusetts, and it's actually has a low cost of living, and that's what's great. I mean, you can get a lot of house for the price. We are seeing a lot of investors come in, and which is great. I mean, but it's what's funny is they're buying homes. I mean, how do I say this nicely? They're buying homes in a shitty area that that I wouldn't move my kids in, but they are doing stuff to the house, getting it a little nicer. So it's actually fixing that house area up, which is great. But they are, I have had 3 clients from Puerto Rico that they're buying homes in our area, for rentals. And I mean, and that's great. That's awesome.
Well, your area, they said the amount of people that renew their leases is higher than anywhere in the country. Mm-hmm. And this is all information publicly held from LinkedIn and professionals. This isn't me pulling out my ass up on Cape Cod, but it's interesting. What we're finding is these investors and things are saying, we ain't building any more land in the world. Fact. We just don't. And the lower priced areas are only going to go up. And for those investors, and maybe as Shane said, tougher areas, they become changed over time. There were areas on Cape that right over the bridge on said area and a couple other areas 5 years ago, nobody would buy. And now, oh my God, they've taken off because other areas were too expensive. And then that tougher areas get cleaned up. So it comes down to, again, if you are renting, you're paying 100% interest. If you're going to buy a place that you can rent out rooms, because there are going to be people, they're going to have bad credit, or they're going to never show their income for whatever reason. Mafia is after them, the police are after them, the gold chain boys are after them. I don't freaking know. Today's an entertaining day. But
so in your area, what are like apartments renting for?
It's dumb. On the Cape, a 3-bedroom house is probably $3,300. I'm not kidding.
And then, okay, so
if you want a
$500,000
house with 5% down, you'd be about $4,000.
Right.
Well, that's a little bit more. Yeah, but you rent out one room, 15 to 1,600. You are already better off owning. Better off. Forget about making an ADU or an apartment in it.
Yeah. What is the average square footage then? On like, if it's like rental, is it like a 1,500?
1,500 is probably a bigger size on Cape Cod.
I mean,
now, if you're in different markets, there's different things. But worst thing is people want to buy properties that have land to add an ADU.
Yeah.
But Shane,
yeah.
Now I hear you have a grandchild. How old's your grandchild, Shane?
Jalen is 17 months, 18 months.
Why is he your wonderful wife?
He's over a year. What's that?
Why is he your wonderful wife on that? She freaking now.
She's with him. She is. So she always works from home on Wednesdays, and my daughter comes over with Jalen, and they play, and so it's great. I mean, it's good to I like him. He's cute. And,
well, he's probably nicer, cuter, and probably speaks more fluently than you.
He does. Yeah, he speaks a little bit better. Right now, he's in the stage of just doing this.
Sounds like another part of your body.
Yeah. I'm like, just like your grandpa.
That's a perfect segue into Shane's plans for the summer. Something about religion and Bible study.
Yeah. I know. It is funny. So like Wednesdays is my wife's golf league night, and my neighbor who is moving, but yet will be still coming over, is we started this. They're like, we'd always sit out on my porch and start drinking bourbon and a lot of bourbon, and then start smoking. And we'd always smoke cigars and everything. Well, then other neighbors started coming by, and his wife, I think, is like, "Oh, you guys doing your little Bible study tonight?" And we've actually taken that name. Thank you, Portia. So now it's always Bible study with us, and it's funny. It's like I'll have like 5 or 6 guys sitting on my front porch, or we'll move to the back patio and everything. We just sit there, but it is funny. It's like people who know me, they're like, Bible study, really? I'm like, we're smoking cigars and drinking bourbon and solving all the world problems.
I think I've already got a winner for the shirt. Portia should get a shirt today, and you should get a video of Portia the shirt.
You know what? I don't know if I gave. You know what?
Because Portia's
I know you don't look like a smart man, but that's a smart thing to say.
I almost said the F word. I'm a ducking, brilliant man. See? Jamie, it doesn't take that much to clean us up.
It doesn't. No, but we got golf seasons here, so I that's my thing. I love that.
Boring.
Yeah, I know.
Little white ball.
I did like your one gentleman who posted something, and you're like, doesn't your buddy golf? And he's like, you're like, no, he doesn't golf, or not golf, but he doesn't fish. He's like, no, he hates fishing, which I have zero time. And you know what? I don't know. I'm clearly there might be something different fishing on the water.
I'll make it a good time for you.
Because I mean, clearly it might be something different, but I don't know. And
it's funny because I'm seriously a type A. All my friends, when I moved to the Cape 10 years ago, like, you'll never make it. Now, after a year, they all laugh because I'm on the water every day taking pictures of fish. But this little white ball would just piss me off. There are enough things in this world.
It is funny as I tell people, I'm like, and I'm like, I'm not a smart man. I literally pay money to get pissed off. And I do love golf, but I'm like, why do I get pissed? And it's mostly pissed off at myself, because I expect better out of myself.
You are a dumb duck. Hey, speaking of cigars, do you ever get hungover from cigars? Like, if I smoke 3 cigars in a day, I get more hungover than I ever do for booze.
I get food hangover. I've gotten food hangovers, but I know there was a thing called Cigar Fest I went to, and I think I had like 4 or 5 at that point in time. Yeah, it was, but and a good amount of booze.
Hey, if you ever done the Cigar Fest, I'm flying in, and we'll have Tom make it a business expense.
There you go. There you go. Let's just call it a business. Yeah, we had to meet for, the internet was broke. So,
So we're going to end up on what we do not do. I don't do condo hotels. It's a hotel with little condos in it. I don't do it. I don't do land loans. I can find you somebody that does, but strict. I want to buy land and hold it. Don't do that. You want to buy land, build a house on it right away. I do that. Yep. Shane does that. I'm sad to say I don't do boat loans. I know people that do. Call me. Maybe a second mortgage might be better. We'll look at all the freaking options. Shane, what else don't we do? Oh, I sold my horse trailer. I'm going to have to go.
We don't do trailer loans. So, just because my name is Greentree Mortgage, that doesn't mean I did your trailer back in 98 when we were not even around yet. So, those are, now, if you have a manufactured home that is on a foundation, we can do that. But it's got to be newer than 1976
or something,
6 or 8 or something like that. It's got to be HUD approved. So, but anyway,
Well, let's do our parting shots. My parting shots is Shane looks shiny today. Shane has lost 20 pounds. His wrinkles are gone. I thought he put special cream on his face. And my goal for 2026, not 25, is to shave once a week. I got 7 more months to get there.
You just got to do it, man. Just do it in the shower.
Once a month I go, Frankie, my barber.
You like your Frank guy. You like your Frank.
I do like Frank. He touches me. But
he touches you like, man, no man touches you before. My party shot is this.
Shane looks pretty. Shane, what's your parting shot, baby?
Yeah, it's really simple. Don't be afraid of the market. Don't sit there and wait and say, I'm waiting for something to happen, like the values to drop, or there's too much data that's against your opinion. Home values are actually, the national home average rose by 1.6, and that's with Florida, who's bringing it down because they're in a slower market right now.
Special market. Only certain things are going to go.
Sand states are weird. If you remove them, the rest of the world's normal. So.
Wow, this is going to get edited. Wow. Good luck, Jamie. Good luck, Holly.
All right, everybody have a great day.